Most people use ChatGPT like this: type something vague, get something generic, close the tab. A few people use it like this: type a specific, well-structured prompt, and get back something they can actually use. The difference between those two experiences is almost entirely in the wording of what you type. These are 5 prompts I go back to every single week. They cover the tasks that eat the most time for most people: email, decisions, weekly planning, writing, and research. Every prompt is copy and paste ready. I'll put the exact wording on screen as I go through each one. Let's get into it. Prompt 1 is the email rewriter. This is the one I use more than anything else. Most of us write emails that are too long, too apologetic, or unclear about what we actually want. We agonize over tone. We rewrite the opening 3 times. This prompt takes the draft you already have and fixes all of that in 30 seconds. Here is the exact wording. Pause the video and copy this. Rewrite this email to be under 100 words. Keep the core request clear. Remove filler phrases and over-apologetic language. End with exactly 1 call to action. Match a professional but warm tone. Here's the draft. Paste your email. The key parts: you set a word limit, you tell it what to remove, you tell it what the ending must do, and you give it the draft. That 4-part structure is why this works better than just saying, "Make this email better." You can swap in different tones: direct and confident, empathetic but firm, casual and friendly. The structure stays the same. The modifier changes for the situation. Prompt 2 is for decisions you're going around in circles on. And most of us have one of those running at any given time. The mistake people make is asking ChatGPT, "What should I do?" That produces a generic pros and cons list. This prompt is structured differently. It asks the AI to push back on your thinking, which is where the real value is. Here's the exact wording. I'm trying to decide between option A and option B. Here's my current thinking. Explain what's pulling you toward each. Play devil's advocate on the option I'm leaning toward. Then tell me what question I haven't asked yet that I should be asking before I decide. 2 things make this prompt powerful. First, you're giving it your existing reasoning, so it isn't working blind. Second, you're asking it to find the blind spot in your thinking, not just validate it. That last part, "What question haven't I asked?" consistently produces the most useful output. I've used this for career decisions, business decisions, and purchases. It works on any decision that has enough context to describe. Prompt 3 is for Monday mornings, or whenever you plan your week. This replaces the mental overhead of deciding what to do first. Most people start the week with a list of tasks and no clear structure. They pick tasks based on what feels urgent in the moment, rather than what actually matters. This prompt builds the structure for you using the Eisenhower Matrix, which sorts tasks by urgency and importance. Copy this prompt. Act as my productivity coach. Here are my tasks for this week. Paste your list. Sort each one into the Eisenhower Matrix. Urgent and important. Important but not urgent. Urgent but not important, and neither. Then recommend what to do first, what to schedule, what to delegate if possible, and what to drop entirely. Flag anything on the list that is actually someone else's problem. The last line, "Flag anything that is actually someone else's problem," is the part most people leave out, and it's often the most useful. Tasks that feel like yours sometimes aren't. Having the AI call that out removes a surprising amount of unnecessary work from the week. Takes about 2 minutes every Monday, saves significantly more than that across the week. Prompt 4 is for writing. Any writing, reports, posts, proposals, scripts, summaries. The blank page problem. The most common mistake here is asking ChatGPT to write something from scratch with no context. The output sounds generic because it has no material to work from. This prompt solves that by giving it your actual thinking first, then asking it to shape it, rather than invent it. Here's the exact wording. I need to describe what you're writing, a LinkedIn post, a report intro, a proposal, a summary. Here are my rough notes and key points. These are unpolished, but they represent what I actually want to say. Paste your notes. Write a first draft that sounds like a knowledgeable human wrote it, not AI generated. Keep the structure logical and the tone professional, conversational, authoritative. Then list 2 things about the draft you'd change if you were editing it yourself. 2 details worth highlighting. Telling it to sound not AI generated genuinely changes the output. It tends to produce less formal, more natural writing. And asking it to critique its own draft gives you immediate editing direction rather than a draft you have to evaluate entirely yourself. You still need to edit, but starting from a structured draft instead of a blank page is a significant time saving on any piece of writing longer than a paragraph. Prompt 5 is for research, specifically when you need to understand something you don't have time to go deep on. The limitation to know up front, for recent events or anything time-sensitive, use ChatGPT with web browsing on, or use Perplexity instead. This prompt works best for concepts, processes, industries and topics where the core information is stable. Here is the prompt. I need to understand X topic well enough to describe your goal, make a decision, write about it, have a meeting about it, explain it to someone else. I have about X minutes to get up to speed. Give me the core concept in 2 sentences, the 3 most important things I need to know, 1 common misconception, and 1 question I should ask an expert if I get the chance. Assume I know nothing about this topic. The goal statement changes everything about the output. I need to understand this to make a purchase decision, produces a different response than I need to understand this to explain it to my team. Both are useful, they're just calibrated differently. The misconception and expert question at the end are the parts most research prompts leave out. They are consistently the most valuable section, particularly if you're going into a meeting on the topic. Before we finish, look at what all 5 prompts have in common. Every one of them gives ChatGPT a role or frame to operate in. Every one of them provides context before making a request. Every one of them specifies the format of what you want back, and every one of them has a constraint, a word limit, a specific ending, a particular structure, role, context, format, constraint. That's the framework behind every prompt that consistently works. Once you see it, you can write your own for any task that currently eats your time. All 5 prompts are written out in the description below, ready to copy. I've also linked a free prompt library where you can find and save more templates like these. These 5 ChatGPT prompts can save you 20 hours a week so you can get more done and actually enjoy your free time. Be sure to subscribe for practical AI coverage every week. Thanks for watching.